Hello everybody, my name is Marlo. Today I'm going to show you how to build this cool underwater base. Inside has almost everything you could need for a survival world, plus some pretty sweet views of the ocean. So let's get into this. Here is a list of items we need for the exterior part of the build. I do have a list for all the things we need for the inside, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. So you can probably figure out what all of these are for the most part, but I'll quickly mention, make sure you have these 4 strip spruce woods. They're basically the same as the strip logs, except they have the same texture on all 6 sides. That's going to be pretty important. And the prismarine walls over here, if you don't have access to prismarine or maybe you don't want to use it, any other type of wall that will go with all of this spruce will be absolutely fine. So the first thing to do is find a nice open and flat area around the same size as what I have here, and then we can start placing our pillars down. So for this we are going to place some barrels on the blue blocks and some strip spruce logs on the red. The stone blocks are just there to show you how many blocks are in between each one. I'll be getting rid of them now. Once you've done that, we can then add 2 additional strip logs on each of those. Next up, grab your spruce trapdoors and glass and start with your spruce trapdoors and place 2 here on all of the pillars that only have strip spruce logs. So don't place them on the ones with the barrels, only these 4 like I'm doing here, and then after that we can get our glass, and then on each of the 4 sides that are 3 wide we can add in a 3x3 window just like this, and on the corner pieces here we're going to add in 6 more glass just like that, and we can do the same all the way around. Now what we can do on all 4 of the sides like this is have 2 stairs and 3 trapdoors in the middle. Same again over here, 2 stairs, 3 trapdoors, and do it on the other 2 sides as well. And then on the back of all of those stairs we can have a strip spruce log going into the stair so that it's facing sideways like this. For the next part here we need our stairs again, as well as some slabs. So on top of the glass blocks here on the 4 corners we need 2 stairs facing inwards like this, and then a slab on top of the log, and of course we can go around and do it 3 more times. Next we can grab our glass again and add in 3 blocks in a row on all of the 4 sides, just like I'm doing here, right next to the trapdoors, and then grab some temporary block, basically anything you're not using for the actual build itself, and place it on the 4 corners here, and on top of those is going to be our strip spruce log, the variant that has the same texture on all 6 sides, and then we can go ahead and break our temporary block because we don't need it anymore, and on top of the logs we can have our prismarine wall or whatever type of wall you're using, and on top of those is where our spruce fences will go. Gonna need some more temporary blocks for this next step, so we're having 2 in each of the 4 corners here just next to the spruce log, which will make placing our shape in here a little bit easier. So if we just go round like I'm doing here, I'll be sure to show you what it looks like afterwards because you're probably not getting a very good idea at the moment, but we should have something that looks a little bit like that. And then on all of these 8 block spaces here we can have a trapdoor facing into the slab, so just go around and fill in all of those. We're nearly done with the outside of the build now. The last thing left to do before we actually clear out all of the water is to place in some glass blocks in a square shape like this next to all of the slabs, and then we can have some stairs like this that kind of bend round and connect to each other to make this shape here with a trapdoor in the middle. So there we go, that is the outside of the build all done. As I said, the last thing we have left to do is get rid of all of the water on the inside. So there's 2 real ways to go about this. I'm going to do it the very quick and easy way, which may not be quite possible for you in survival, which is to basically place a bunch of sponges everywhere until all of the water is gone. And yeah, should be a very simple process, but if you don't have access to sponge, you can just fill all of this area up with some type of block and get rid of it all, which will destroy all of the water sources. But yeah, if you have sponges, it's a whole lot easier that way. Now the only issue is, if you are using sponges, it can cause some problems with the outside here and unwaterlog some of the stairs, slabs and trapdoors, so you just need to grab a water bucket and kind of fill all of these in, just to get rid of anything that looks a little bit like this, because it doesn't look particularly great from the outside. Doesn't really affect how the inside looks, but yeah, just grab your water bucket and go around doing this. Obviously, this won't affect you if you did it by the block method of placing them all in. One thing I will say is make sure you waterlog this trapdoor here. You might have to hold shift to do that, and then you have to do all of the stairs as well, as yeah, that needs to be a waterlog block, otherwise we have no real way out of here, because that is kind of how the function of the entrance and exit works. I'll just show you if we break that block there so we don't have a major spillage. But yeah, that's how we get in and out, so make sure you actually do waterlog the trapdoor there. So this is everything we need for the inside of the build. It's a lot, I know, so I won't go through it all with you one by one, and I'll instead kind of just scan over the top of all of them here, in case there's some items here you don't know the name of or particularly what it is. This way you can read what all of them are, but there are probably some things I should expand upon, such as the stone at the top. You don't need those exact numbers, I've just rounded them up because we're going to be using them to texturize our floor, so I don't know the exact number needed per se. So yeah, those are all of the items, and then there's some things down here like the flowers. Any type of flower is fine, any color of bed, that sort of thing you can kind of chop and change, but for the most part, hopefully I haven't forgotten anything. This should be everything we need. The first thing to do on the inside is to get rid of some of this weird water glistening we have on our ceiling. So start by placing a plank in each of the 4 corners with an upside down stairs coming on the front of this strip spruce log. Same again on the final side, just like that. And then we're going to have some trapdoors on the sides going round just like this, and then some more on these 4 spots here. The way I'm doing it, I am leaving this center bit here because I honestly think it looks kind of cool if you only have a little bit on show, but if you're not a big fan of it, just cover it up with some sort of block and it will get rid of it for you. But like I said, I personally am going to be leaving it. Now we can go ahead and take out all of the floor. So once you've got rid of all of those blocks, we can also take out some more beneath each of these glass blocks. I'm just going to do this side and the corner for now because it's going to be the same all the way around, but we can replace the sand or gravel or whatever it is with some strip spruce logs just like this. And of course, as I said, copy it on over here. Now we can go ahead and actually fill in the floor. So I'm mainly going to be using stone bricks with mine and sprinkling in some of the other blocks here and there. So the way I'm doing this is filling up all of the floor with stone bricks and then just kind of texturizing the rest with the remaining smooth stone, polished andesite and cracked stone brick. One quick thing to add in, we can also take out these 4 blocks surrounding the center block and replace them with some stone brick stairs and polished andesite stairs. Unfortunately, no stair variants for these 2 blocks, but yeah, we can make a kind of indentation into the ground here, and just make sure you leave this block empty because that's where all of our water is going to flow into once we open up the trapdoor. We now need to pick which 4 of these windows have the best view because we're going to be making a chair. I think my best one is this one, so we're going to place some spruce fences with some lanterns underneath to kind of light up the area a little bit, and then we're going to have a rail on this block here with a minecart on top. We can also go ahead and get rid of that rail, and we're going to need to place some temporary blocks down just to keep the minecart in place, but then place your piston down with the smooth quartz stair just beside the minecart and grab a lever to power it. Turn that on, push the stair into the cart and break our lever and piston, also the temporary block surrounding here, and then some trapdoors on the 2 sides as well as 2 on the back, and then we can come around the front and place in a red banner. You need to hold shift to do that though, and then we can actually sit in our chair and watch all the fish swim by. Go ahead and grab everything you can see in my hotbar and start by placing all of our furnace types down on any of the 3 remaining sides. It doesn't really matter which you choose, but then we can have a spruce trapdoor on this block with a brewing stand above it, and then a spruce fence and another lantern to light this place up a little bit. I like to do this next bit on the opposite side to all of our furnaces, so come on over here and place in your stone cutter in the center with a smithing table and cartography table on either side, and then on the corners here we can place some backwards facing lecterns with a fletching table and loom on top of both of those with a trapdoor, not like that on top of those ones. The last side to fill in is where our bed is going to go, so we can place that down in the center with a scaffolding piece next to it and a flower pot on top as somewhat of a side table. Then we can have a birch trapdoor with a chest on top of that one and a lantern hanging from above. On the left side of the bed, we're going to do a little bit of armor stand trickery now. So on the corner here, we're going to break down 2 blocks and add in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 snow layers with our trapdoor here on the barrel. Just flick it up for now, and then we can slot our armor stand in there and put a turtle shell on top, or any type of helmet you want really. We can flick that on down, and it looks like it's somewhat on display. And then we can put in some more trapdoors, 1, 2, and 3. Flick them all up there. Have another trapdoor here, and we're just going to slot some turtle eggs up there, keeping with the turtle theme. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the upstairs of the underwater base all done. That's right, we're having a second level down below, mainly for things that I couldn't quite fit in this room up here. So come to the center of your room here and dig down 1, 2, 3, and 4 blocks, and then you can hollow out an area that is 5 wide, 7 long, and 3 in height, just like I'm doing here. So the first thing to do here is place 4 scaffolding pieces down just like this, so you can get in and out of the basement nice and easily. And then we're going to place down some bookshelves in this formation as I'm doing here, and bring them up to be 3 high. So go around adding 2 more to each of those you've just placed, and we can have our enchanting table in the center here. If we just hop over to the other side real quick and place down 3 obsidian in each of the corners here, break out the bottom blocks as well as the top ones, and we now have some obsidian that is ready to be lit. So in case you haven't already figured it out, down here in the basement is where the nether portal and enchanting room is going to be. Above the enchanting table, we can then take out this 3x3 area of stone or whatever else is above you and replace it with some upside down stairs, connecting them round like this with a grindstone in the middle. Now we can take out all of the natural blocks on the floor and the walls as well, just like this, and then these as well, of course, as well as some of the ones on the ceiling, and replace them with our stone variants. Just like that, looking nice and stonified if I do say so myself. And we've also done the same on the other side with our portal, not forgetting the ones behind the portal itself. Now we need to fill in these gaps in between the bookshelves. So on the left and the right hand side here, we need 2 upside down stairs with an anvil on top of those. Always helpful to have at least 2 anvils near your enchanting table, I think, just in case one breaks, and 2 trapdoors above that one there. And in front of us, we're going to have a trapdoor just like that with a flower pot on top. Flower inside, of course. And then on the ceiling here, we can have an item frame, put any type of block in it that you'd like. And then on the block itself, we can have a lantern dangling down. And if you really want to flex on your friends and show off a little bit, we can replace the andesite block that I've used with a diamond block, or maybe something else to show off your wealth. The final thing to do is complete our portal, so head on over here, grab your flint and steel and give it a click, and just like that we are all done with the basement and of course the main room up here. Just a couple of things to touch on real quick, because I know some of you are probably going to be wondering, where on earth is the storage in this space? Well, my idea for the storage was just going to be all of these barrels going around the outside. You should be able to access all of them with somewhat ease. The lectern ones are a little bit blocked here, but you can still get into them. And if these 8 barrels aren't enough, well, you can always expand the basement down below and make yourselves a proper storage room. And lastly, I'll just mention again about the entrance and exit to the base. So of course we have our centered trapdoor here, which when we open allows a cascading waterfall to enter, which we can easily swim up on out of, and then shut the trapdoor as we leave. Again, flick up the trapdoor to enter, down goes the waterfall, and when you close it up, the water is completely dispersed, which is a really nice feature. It's nice to have no water in our underwater base. I just realised the scaffolding down here looks like somewhat of a drain, which makes doing this even cooler. Whoopsie, I forgot to add in one little thing, which isn't really the end of the world if I hadn't have included it, but I'm in the post-recording stage now. I'm editing the video and I've just realised. So if you break this scaffolding at the top here, hop down and break the next 2 blocks just like this, and then a lever at the back of both of those, turn them on, and then we can place our redstone lamps here, which just lightens everything up a bit more. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope it was helpful for you and that you enjoyed the build. Of course, as always, let me know if you're choosing to do this in your own world. I do love to hear that. But thank you guys ever so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.